Okay, so today I would like to show you guys something that I have put a lot of work into. So we are going to look at two houses that I have in the notable homes. One is the Grand Psijic Villa and the other one is Tel Galen. The Grand Psijic Villa is in Arteum. Tel Galen is in Vardenfell, Morrowind. So we are going to go and look at the Grand Psijic Villa first. I've done a lot of broadcasts, well, probably less than 5, but still for just the housing that's, and especially with as little as I've technically done with this. To me, that's a lot of broadcasts for housing. Anyways, I've done a lot of broadcasting on just decorating this house alone. A lot of what I've been trying to do is finishing it room by room. So when you first come in, if you turn around, you can see the area where when you leave here, you'll go. So there's actually a little door over there. Now you can see it. It's technically in the crosshairs. Okay, so when you first get here, you look straight forward. There's a stairwell there, stairwell there. These little guys, they are still currently in the Crown store. I put these here as, something to piss people off. Because if you get within proximity, they do actually do damage to you. So when you start to go up the stairs, if you look back up through here, this is something that I set up. This was not accessible at first, and it took quite a bit to properly line this up. It took some time just because it was frustrating as hell. So you have a table, a bustier, and a gear from the Clockwork City itself. One of the Daedric thrones. I have a ridiculous amount of them because I wasn't paying attention to the quantities of what I was buying. You have these lovely little guys. The Doomwolf, and I actually don't remember what that other one is called. The Red Pit Wolf. It looks like, your typical red fox, so I usually just call it a fox, but that's not actually what it is. So, this took not as much time as what I'm going to show you inside. This did take a little bit of time to set up, so, meat for the puppers, and then, the stuff that would normally be sold. So, you've got stews, meats, vegetables, things like that. And, fun stuff. And then a little treat for the puppers. When the black one lays down, he actually keeps a paw on the steak, and it just looks like he's guarding his food. And it's kind of cute. I don't think he's gonna do it before we go to walk away.
He's a good man.
No, he's not. Okay, that's fine. So, I still have not put anything over through there. I do have a little chair set up over there. I showed that in the last broadcast, so I'm not going to do that with this one, mainly because I don't like using it. It's one of those, to mess with people things. These eventually will be the same type. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. Alright, so when you first come in on your left, you have this stairwell here. Now, all that I've done with up here is putting, yes, yet again, one of the Daedric thrones. There's another one over there. And then there's the two up there. And then when you come through here, this is going to be more of the quote-unquote religious room.
Pull your pants up.
So you have Clavica's Vial, Hircine, Molakbal, Vivek. And the reason why they're not evenly set out across the table is because I'm counting on there being more. I am hoping with next month being March that what they are going to do is make the next one nocturnal, since she is, you know, for the Nightingales and for the Thieves Guild in general, she is basically their go-to deity. Also known as, I believe, Lady Luck, so it would make sense, you know, Luck of the Irish. The next Daedra statuette would be nocturnal, but that's just my hunch, and I haven't looked anything up on it. This is 2 of the same firewood piece set. One was put in one way, the other one was turned around, and I turned off the surface drag so that I could set it the way I wanted it. I think it makes it look better. And then this hasn't been changed any. That's probably going to get taken down. I intend on putting a table in between them here, and then something along this way here, so probably a dresser, and then like a small table across here. It's not my main concern right now, which is why I haven't done a whole lot with it. So then we come over through here, and you've got, you know, Witch's Totem, you see the light, you look up, and you've got the Daedric chains. So you follow the lights down, and as you can even see from above, you know, there are stones levitating, there's giant fungus, fauna, however you want to put it, plants, mushrooms. The darker of the trophies from doing the dungeons are down here. I did put my own little nod to the Skyrim alchemy and crafting through here, so it looks like, you know, plants that you could pull and use. You know, the sacrificial slab and the little spider corner. Eventually this is going to have more done to it, but for right now this is what I've got. And then, you know, the casting circle, skulls inside, the black necromantic soul gem, the magma scamp. I've got the shelving deal here, which actually, this spans from this corner here to technically about this far. I just have it stuck on the wall for the sake of convenience. And then there's a hideaway bed in here, and I intend on putting a little bit of shelving in through here if I can get it to line properly. I'll just have to take the surface drag off to do it. And making it look like, you know, this is more of an underground private chamber. Each of these were individually turned, placed, and set, which was more of a pain than I expected it to be. And then you've got these little ones, and whenever they, you know, these two gas and that one ignites their prey, usually it lands in the bowl, or relatively close to it, so I may end up swapping that bowl and this one. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that now, because the other one's wider. If I didn't totally mess it up, and I may have. I think the surface drag on this one's turned off. Yes, it was. That's why I did that. That makes sense. I don't know why the surface drag was turned off, but it was. Okay, that looks a little better. So now no matter what, they should fall into the bowl itself. Okay, and then you've got, you know, the fish setup. It looks like, you know, the cleaver was slammed in it. and a little paring knife in it, meat strung up, lighting the tavern sign, different displays. And you know, the carcasses that were harvested for different casting, and just little things like that. And that's it for the downstairs of the Grand Psijic Villa. And now we shall go on to my pride and joy. That's a lesser bedroom. I'm not worried about showing you. This, however, I spent over 3 hours on today. So you have the merchant to the left, the banker to the left, the merchant to the right, and I tried making this look as authentic as possible, and it took me forever. Everything but the book sets, so the small ones and the large ones, everything except for those is individual, so they were all placed. So little things to make it look more realistic were personally done, and yeah, it was a little bit of a pain. I'm not used to having to modify things with or without a surface drag, and it was obnoxious. Are 3 different sets of the gold pieces put together so that it would look like they were placed around these. And a little statuette, fine silk clothing, and then a banker who is also usable, as is the merchant. And then, you know, you have her items. Some things, you know, were preset in, you know, they're already bundled. And then you have things that were individually placed. Which, if this gives you any idea of how much was individually placed, and why this has taken so ridiculously long. But I wanted to go for authenticity. So I wanted it to feel like you're going to an actual merchant, or you're going to an actual, you know, banker in an area, and have it be, you know, at least somewhat aesthetically pleasing. There's certainly going to be more that goes into all of this, but for right now, I'm quite proud of how this is. So that is it for the Grand Psijic Villa, and next I want to show you Tel Galen. As I said earlier, this is in Vardenfell, so this is one of the Dark Elf homes. For those of you who are not aware, it is most common to see guar with the Dark Elves, which basically look like odd lizards that stand on 2 legs. So this is the main entrance for Tel Galen. There is technically a secondary one that you can go through, but if you go to it from your collections, then it will take you through this door, which is why this is all set up out through here. So these are both from Celine's Web, Celine and the Broodmother. I believe that was from Fungal Grotto. I don't remember what each of these were from. That was Shadowrend. Oh, but so the trophies are going to be around the doorways. So the ones I have right now are around the main entrance, and then the others will be by the other door. The bustiers will be set along each step. So right now all I have is the bustier for Fungal Grotto, but I will have all of them, so I will have them down one side, and if possible down the other side of the upper side of the steps. And the figurines, as I had them, in the other house on a table, they are alongside the entryway.
Oh dear, Garrett.
And once you go inside, you have a Nyx Ox and a Nyx Hound to the right, which I've actually thought about relocating them to an area over there. And there's a reason for it, and I'll show you. If you look to your left, you have this little guy here. Apparently he wanted to say hello. I set the meat here because, well, mainly that passive. He has another one that he does. They're both relatively the same thing, but that way it looks like he's just going nuts on the meat. That was the other passive. It just constantly looks like he's eating. And then here you have an anointed shrine to Sithis. And as it is common for the Dark Elves to have Gwar in their home, whether as family companions, little pack helpers, mounts, what have you, every Gwar that I have is in this home. So, have the Glowgill and the Psijic mascot Gwar there, grubs for that one, and since this one does not have a food passive, it's just up there in a comfy little chair. I actually need to fix this. There we go. I had it set to where he's standing, being in the center, but I guess for the sake of when he lays down it looking better, that actually works. And then because the other two small ones have the passives of eating off of 2 spots, I set these, so bowl of grubs and the bowl of worms, and then again the grubs on a stick for the larger ones. And those are my lovely Gwar. My sweet reptiles. They're so cute. And then the shimmering cheese. So, you have the cheesy shivering cheese. And then the cheesiest. I haven't done anything with the sweet. And I have not done anything with the workshop yet. And if you go up to the upper level, I can show you the tiny bit of decorating I've done with this. So all I've done in here is actually set out the papers and the inkwell as well as the quill. So, it looks like in the middle of something. The flower, the candle was a pain in the ass because even with the surface drag off, I had to set it there from here and then hop up here and then slide it and then go over to this one and slide it and then come over to here and slide it, and then come back over to here and slide it. It was just very obnoxious. The books are set up
Give me some cheesy bread.
and then I set the mushrooms. And that's pretty much all I've set up in Tel Galen, but even still, I think it looks quite wonderful. So, yeah, not a whole lot to show you this time, but, and pardon me for the rude-ass motherfuckers in the background who keep shouting over my broadcast. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy your weekend.
Square up.